Welcome to How to Tell If He's Serious. Avoiding the Time Wasters. Written and published by Olivia Grace from Attraction Unlocked. Dating can be an exhilarating journey, but it can also feel overwhelming and uncertain, especially when you're trying to determine someone's true intentions. In today's fast-paced dating world, where mixed signals and shallow connections often dominate, knowing whether a man is genuinely serious or simply wasting your time is more important than ever. This audiobook is your guide to identifying the signs of sincerity and avoiding the emotional pitfalls of investing in the wrong person. Understanding a man's intentions early can save you time, energy, and emotional investment. When you're clear on what you're looking for, you deserve someone who aligns with your goals and values. This isn't about cynicism or doubting everyone you meet. It's about recognizing patterns, trusting yourself, and building connections that have real potential for growth. By learning to read his actions, ask the right questions, and spot red flags, you'll feel empowered to make decisions that honor your worth and save you from unnecessary heartache. In this audiobook, we'll explore everything from communication strategies to decoding his behavior. You'll learn how to distinguish between words and actions, recognize emotional availability, and assess his willingness to invest time and effort into the relationship. We'll also dive into setting boundaries, identifying red flags, and trusting your instincts when something doesn't feel right. Each chapter is packed with insights, examples, and actionable advice to help you navigate your dating life with confidence and clarity. Let's start with a story that might feel familiar. Maria was in her early 30s and ready to find a partner who wanted the same things she did. A serious, committed relationship. She met Brian at a mutual friends party, and their chemistry was undeniable. They began texting daily, and Brian made her laugh like no one else. But as weeks turned into months, Maria noticed that Brian never made plans for a real date. He was charming and attentive in their conversations, but something always seemed to come up when it was time to meet in person. At first, Maria rationalized his behavior. Maybe he was busy with work, or perhaps he wasn't ready to move too quickly. But deep down, she started to feel uneasy. Finally, after another cancelled plan, she decided to trust her instincts and have an honest conversation. Maria asked Brian what he was looking for and shared her own intentions. His response was vague and noncommittal, confirming what she already suspected. He wasn't serious about building a real connection. Although disappointed, Maria was proud of herself for recognizing the red flags and walking away. By avoiding further investment in someone who couldn't meet her standards, she made space for a future relationship that truly aligned with her goals. Maria's story is a reminder of how empowering it can be to identify time wasters and prioritize your own needs. As you listen to this audiobook, you'll gain the tools to make smarter choices in your dating life. You'll learn to spot the patterns that indicate seriousness, avoid common pitfalls, and confidently navigate the complexities of modern relationships. Most importantly, you'll be equipped to trust yourself and recognize when someone's actions align with their words. Get ready to embark on a journey that's as enlightening as it is empowering. Together, we'll uncover the signs of genuine commitment, so you can move forward with clarity and find the relationship you deserve. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Understanding his intentions. When it comes to determining whether a man is serious about you or just passing time, actions often speak louder than words. While it's easy to get swept up in charming conversations and exciting chemistry, understanding his true intentions requires paying attention to subtle cues in both his behavior and priorities. By looking beyond surface-level interactions, you can better gauge if he's genuinely interested in building a meaningful connection or simply enjoying the moment without commitment. One of the first signs to assess is whether his words align with his actions. A man who is serious about you will make an effort to follow through on what he says. If he mentions wanting to spend time with you, he'll actively make plans rather than leaving things vague or open-ended. For example, a man who consistently says, "We should hang out sometime," without ever solidifying a date might not be prioritizing you as much as he claims. On the other hand, someone serious about getting to know you will take initiative, confirm plans, and show up with enthusiasm. Another key indicator is how he talks about his goals and priorities. If he openly discusses his long-term aspirations and includes you in those conversations, it's a strong sign he's thinking about the future. Phrases like, "I'd love to travel with you one day," or, "I can see us doing this together," suggest he's considering you as part of his plans. Conversely, if he avoids discussions about commitment, brushes off questions about where things are heading, or consistently steers conversations toward casual topics, it may signal that he's not looking for something serious. Subtle cues in his actions can also reveal a lot about his intentions. Does he check in with you regularly, even when there's no specific reason to? Does he make an effort to learn about your interests, values, and goals? These behaviors indicate genuine curiosity and investment in building a connection. A man who is just passing time, however, might only reach out sporadically or when it's convenient for him, often with little effort to deepen the conversation or relationship. It's also important to be aware of common misconceptions about commitment-minded men. Many people assume that a man who is serious about a relationship will immediately declare his intentions or move quickly toward exclusivity. While this can be true for some, others may take their time to ensure the connection is right before fully committing. What sets commitment-minded men apart is their consistency, openness, and willingness to communicate about their feelings and intentions. Let's explore an example of a man whose actions spoke louder than his words. Sarah met Alex at a mutual friend's barbecue, and they hit it off instantly. Alex was charming, attentive, and quick to exchange numbers with Sarah. Over the next few weeks, they texted regularly, and Alex often complimented Sarah and expressed excitement about seeing her again. However, every time Sarah suggested meeting up, Alex always seemed to have an excuse: a last-minute work project, a sudden trip out of town, or vague plans he couldn't cancel. Sarah started to feel frustrated and confused. Alex's messages were sweet and engaging, but his inability to commit to plans left her wondering if he was truly interested. One evening, she decided to test his intentions by stepping back and giving him space to initiate. A few days passed without hearing from him, and when he finally did text, it was another casual message that lacked any effort to move the relationship forward. Realizing the pattern, Sarah decided to have a direct conversation with Alex. She asked him where he saw their connection heading and shared that she was looking for something serious. Alex hesitated and admitted that while he enjoyed talking to her, he wasn't ready for a committed relationship. Though disappointed, Sarah was grateful for the clarity and chose to move on rather than invest further in someone who couldn't meet her needs. Sarah's experience highlights the importance of aligning words with actions and trusting your instincts when something feels off. While Alex's texts were flattering and engaging, his lack of follow-through revealed his true intentions. By stepping back and addressing the situation directly, Sarah was able to save herself from prolonged uncertainty and focus on finding someone who matched her goals. Understanding a man's intentions isn't about catching him in a lie or forcing him to declare his plans prematurely. It's about observing patterns, communicating openly, and trusting what his actions reveal. A man who is serious about you will prioritize your connection, make consistent effort, and show genuine interest in your life. By paying attention to these subtle cues, you can navigate your dating journey with clarity and confidence. Chapter 2: The Power of Communication. Communication is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, and knowing how to navigate conversations about intentions is a vital skill in modern dating. Asking the right questions early on isn't about interrogation, it's about clarity. It saves you from wasting time on someone who doesn't align with your goals and allows you to build a connection rooted in mutual understanding. When done thoughtfully, these conversations don't have to feel heavy or intimidating. Instead, they can foster trust and set the stage for genuine intimacy. One of the most common mistakes in dating is assuming that a man's intentions align with yours without ever discussing them. Early conversations about expectations can prevent misunderstandings and help you identify whether you're on the same page. For instance, casually asking, "What's your idea of a great relationship?" can provide valuable insight into his mindset without putting him on the defensive. Questions like this open the door for meaningful dialogue while keeping the tone light and exploratory. Timing is crucial when broaching these topics. Bringing up commitment too soon can feel overwhelming, while waiting too long might lead to mixed signals or unspoken assumptions. A good rule of thumb is to let the relationship progress naturally for the first few interactions, then introduce questions that encourage him to share his values and goals. For example, during a casual conversation about future plans, you might say, "What's something you're excited to work toward in the next few years?" This kind of question not only reveals his ambitions but also hints at whether he envisions a partner in those plans. It's also important to pay attention to how he responds. A man who is serious about building a relationship will engage thoughtfully, showing curiosity about your goals and offering insights into his own. On the other hand, vague or dismissive answers can be red flags. If his responses feel evasive or overly casual, it might indicate that he's not looking for anything serious. For example, if you ask about his relationship goals and he replies, "I don't really think about stuff like that," it's worth noting whether his actions align with a lack of commitment. Steering conversations toward clarity doesn't have to be confrontational. Instead of directly asking, "Are you looking for a serious relationship?" you can phrase your questions in a way that encourages open dialogue. For instance, saying, "What's been your favorite part of past relationships?" invites him to reflect on what he values without putting him on the spot. His answer can provide subtle but telling clues about whether he's ready for something meaningful. Red flags to watch for in his responses include an unwillingness to discuss the future, a tendency to deflect questions about personal growth or relationships, and a pattern of focusing only on short-term plans. While some men might genuinely need more time to open up, consistent avoidance of deeper topics often signals a lack of interest in long-term commitment. Similarly, pay attention to whether his responses are centered around himself or if he shows an interest in you and your aspirations. A serious partner will make an effort to understand your perspective, not just talk about their own. Let's explore an anecdote that illustrates the power of communication. Rachel had been dating Ethan for a few months and enjoyed their time together, but she started noticing a pattern. Ethan was great at making plans for the weekend but avoided any discussions about the future. Curious but unsure how to bring it up, Rachel decided to steer their next conversation toward clarity. During dinner, Rachel casually said, "I've been thinking about what makes relationships work long-term. What do you think is the key?" Ethan paused, then replied with a vague, "I think it's just about having fun and seeing where things go." Sensing hesitation, Rachel followed up with, "I agree that fun is important, but I also value planning for the future. How do you balance both?" This subtle approach encouraged Ethan to open up without feeling pressured. Over the course of the conversation, Ethan admitted that while he liked spending time with Rachel, he wasn't sure he was ready for a serious commitment. Though disappointed, Rachel appreciated his honesty. By addressing her concerns early, she avoided investing further in a relationship that didn't align with her goals. Her ability to steer the conversation toward clarity gave her the confidence to move on and seek someone who shared her vision for the future. Rachel's story highlights how communication can reveal true intentions without creating conflict or tension. By approaching the topic with curiosity and grace, she gained the answers she needed while maintaining her self-respect. The power of communication lies in its ability to foster understanding and alignment. By asking thoughtful questions, observing his responses, and addressing concerns with confidence, you can navigate your dating journey with clarity and purpose. Remember, the goal isn't to force answers or rush decisions, it's to create a foundation of mutual trust and shared goals that supports a meaningful connection. If you're enjoying this audiobook so far, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. That means a lot to us. Now let's get back to it. Chapter 3. Actions versus Words. When it comes to understanding a man's intentions, actions speak louder than words. While sweet talk and promises can be appealing, they don't always translate into genuine commitment. Consistency in his behavior is the true indicator of whether he's serious about building a meaningful connection. Words alone can be fleeting, but actions reveal his priorities, effort, and willingness to invest in the relationship. Consistency is one of the clearest signs that he's serious. A man who values you will follow through on his promises, no matter how small. If he says he'll call, he'll call. If he plans a date, he'll show up on time and put thought into making it enjoyable. Consistent behavior demonstrates reliability and respect, showing that he's not just saying the right things but actively working to prove his interest. Inconsistent actions, on the other hand, are a red flag that his words may not carry much weight. For example, imagine a man who constantly tells you how much he enjoys your company but regularly cancels plans at the last minute or takes days to respond to your messages. His words might sound genuine, but his lack of follow-through tells a different story. Contrast that with someone who may not be overly expressive but shows up when it matters, makes time for you despite a busy schedule, and remembers the little details you've shared. His actions reveal a deeper level of care and commitment. Words alone aren't enough to determine seriousness because they can be easily manipulated, whether intentionally or not. Some people are naturally charismatic or skilled at expressing affection but lack the intention to back it up with effort. Others may genuinely believe what they're saying in the moment but fail to sustain those feelings through consistent action. It's crucial to evaluate how his words align with what he does over time. Examples of actions that show commitment include prioritizing quality time together, introducing you to his inner circle, and actively planning for the future. If he goes out of his way to make you feel included in his life, whether it's by inviting you to meet his friends or checking in to see how your day is going, these are clear signs that he values the relationship. Similarly, discussing long-term plans or including you in his goals shows that he's thinking about a future with you. Let's explore the story of Maya and Chris, a couple whose relationship grew stronger through consistent effort. Maya and Chris met through a mutual friend and felt an instant connection. Chris was warm, funny, and quick to express his admiration for Maya. Early on, he told her that he was looking for a serious relationship, which reassured Maya that they were on the same page. However, Maya remained cautious. She had experienced relationships in the past where words didn't match actions, leaving her hurt and disappointed. Instead of letting Chris's declarations sweep her off her feet, she decided to observe how he followed through. Over the next few months, Chris's actions consistently matched his words. He made time to see her regularly, even during his busiest weeks, and surprised her with thoughtful gestures, like bringing her favorite coffee when she mentioned she'd had a stressful day. One weekend, Maya shared that she was nervous about an upcoming presentation at work. Chris not only listened but offered to help her rehearse. He spent hours giving her feedback and building her confidence, proving that he was invested in her success and well-being. Maya began to trust that Chris's words weren't just empty promises, they were supported by genuine effort and care. As their relationship progressed, Chris continued to demonstrate his commitment. He introduced Maya to his family, included her in important events, and began discussing future plans, like traveling together and potentially moving closer to one another. These actions reassured Maya that Chris wasn't just saying the right things. He was showing her through his behavior that he was serious about their relationship. Maya and Chris's story highlights the importance of consistency and effort in determining seriousness. Chris's actions built a foundation of trust and respect that strengthened their bond over time. By focusing on what he did rather than just what he said, Maya was able to feel confident in their connection. When evaluating someone's intentions, it's important to take a step back and ask yourself whether his actions align with his words. If he claims to care about you but rarely makes an effort to show it, it's worth questioning whether he's truly serious. On the other hand, if his actions consistently reflect his commitment, you can feel reassured that his intentions are genuine. Ultimately, actions reveal priorities. A man who values you will show it through consistent effort, thoughtfulness, and reliability. Words may charm in the moment, but actions build trust, strengthen bonds, and demonstrate his willingness to invest in a future together. By focusing on what he does rather than just what he says, you can confidently navigate your relationships and avoid wasting time on empty promises. Chapter 4. Recognizing red flags. Recognizing red flags early in a relationship is crucial to protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. While no one wants to believe that their connection is going nowhere, ignoring the warning signs can lead to heartbreak and wasted effort. Learning to identify the common signs that he's wasting your time, and understanding the difference between uncertainty and genuine disinterest, empowers you to make decisions that align with your goals and self-worth. One of the most obvious red flags is inconsistency. A man who is serious about you will prioritize communication and effort. If he's hot and cold, texting you frequently one week and then disappearing the next, it's a sign that he may not be invested. Consistency is a key indicator of genuine interest, and without it, it's difficult to build trust or a strong foundation. Another warning sign is vague or non-committal behavior. If he avoids making plans or only reaches out on his terms, it's worth questioning whether he sees you as a priority. For instance, if he always responds with, "Let's play it by ear," or cancels plans last minute without offering to reschedule, it suggests that he's not valuing your time or the connection. A lack of curiosity about your life is another indicator that he's not serious. A man who cares about you will want to know more about your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. If he rarely asks questions or seems disinterested when you share, it may mean he's not emotionally invested in getting to know you on a deeper level. It's also important to differentiate between uncertainty and disinterest. Some men may genuinely need time to figure out their feelings, but their actions will still show respect and effort. For example, a man who says he wants to take things slowly but consistently communicates and makes an effort to spend time with you may simply need more time to commit. On the other hand, a man who avoids meaningful conversations, ignores your needs, or only engages when it's convenient for him is showing signs of disinterest, even if he claims otherwise. Ignoring red flags can be dangerous because it sets the tone for the relationship. Accepting inconsistent or disrespectful behavior early on signals that you're willing to tolerate it, making it harder to establish boundaries later. It's easy to make excuses for someone's actions, especially when you're emotionally invested, but overlooking warning signs often leads to greater disappointment down the line. Let's look at an anecdote that illustrates the importance of recognizing red flags. Emma met Daniel at a friend's wedding, and they hit it off immediately. Daniel was charming, funny, and quick to compliment Emma, making her feel special from the start. However, as they began texting and going on dates, Emma noticed some inconsistencies. Daniel would disappear for days at a time without explanation, only to reappear with a casual, "Hey, what's up?" He often canceled plans at the last minute, offering vague excuses about work or being too tired. Despite these behaviors, Emma chose to focus on Daniel's positive traits. She told herself he was just busy and that his interest would deepen over time. When she brought up the inconsistencies, Daniel reassured her that he liked her but wasn't ready for anything serious yet. Emma accepted this explanation, convincing herself that being patient would pay off. Months went by, and Emma found herself feeling increasingly frustrated and undervalued. She realized she was the only one initiating conversations and making plans, while Daniel's behavior remained inconsistent. Eventually, Emma confronted him about where things were going, and Daniel admitted that he wasn't looking for a relationship after all. Heartbroken, Emma realized she had ignored the red flags because she wanted the connection to work. Emma's experience taught her a valuable lesson. Red flags are there for a reason. Ignoring them doesn't make them go away, it only prolongs the inevitable. By paying attention to the signs earlier, Emma could have saved herself time and emotional pain. The key to recognizing red flags is trusting your intuition. If something feels off, don't dismiss it. Pay attention to how his behavior makes you feel. Do you feel secure and valued, or anxious and uncertain? A healthy connection should bring you peace, not confusion. If you find yourself making excuses for his actions or constantly questioning where you stand, it's worth reevaluating the relationship. Ultimately, recognizing red flags is about honoring your own standards and boundaries. You deserve a partner who values your time, respects your emotions, and aligns with your goals. By identifying warning signs and addressing them early, you can avoid time wasters and focus on building a relationship that truly fulfills you. Chapter 5. Emotional Availability. Emotional availability is one of the most important factors in determining whether a man is ready for a serious relationship. While attraction and chemistry are important, they mean little if he isn't open to building a deep emotional connection. Learning to recognize whether he's emotionally open or closed off can save you from investing in a relationship that lacks the foundation for long-term growth. One of the clearest ways to tell if he's emotionally open is by observing how he communicates. An emotionally available man is willing to share his thoughts, feelings, and experiences with you. He doesn't shy away from vulnerability, even if it's uncomfortable at times. For example, he might talk about a challenge he's facing at work or reflect on lessons he's learned from past relationships. These moments of openness show that he trusts you and values your role in his life. In contrast, a man who is emotionally closed off often avoids meaningful conversations or dismisses emotional topics as unimportant. He might deflect when you ask him how he's feeling or respond with surface-level answers like, "I don't know," or, "It's no big deal." While it's natural for some people to take time to open up, consistent avoidance of emotional depth is a sign that he may not be ready for a serious connection. Another indicator of emotional availability is how he handles conflict. A man who is ready for a deep connection will approach disagreements with the goal of resolving them rather than avoiding them. He'll be willing to listen, acknowledge your feelings, and work toward a solution together. On the other hand, an emotionally unavailable man might shut down, become defensive, or avoid the issue altogether. His inability to engage in healthy conflict resolution can make it difficult to build trust and intimacy. Signs that he's ready for a deep connection also include his willingness to prioritize the relationship. An emotionally available man will make an effort to spend quality time with you, check in regularly, and show interest in your thoughts and feelings. He'll actively include you in his life, introducing you to friends and family and considering your needs when making decisions. These actions demonstrate that he values the relationship and sees it as a meaningful part of his life. Spotting emotional unavailability early can save you from heartache down the line. One red flag is if he consistently keeps conversations light and avoids discussing personal topics. While humor and casual banter are great for building rapport, they shouldn't be the only type of interaction. Another warning sign is if he seems reluctant to label the relationship or avoids discussing the future. A man who is serious about you will want to create a sense of clarity and stability, even if he's not ready to make big commitments immediately. It's also important to pay attention to how he talks about his past. If he frequently mentions unresolved issues with exes, expresses cynicism about relationships, or seems stuck in old patterns, it could indicate that he's not emotionally ready to move forward. Similarly, if he's overly focused on work, hobbies, or other distractions to the point of neglecting the relationship, it's worth questioning whether he has the capacity to prioritize a partnership. Let's explore an example of how emotional availability can evolve through honest communication. Claire had been dating Nathan for several months and felt a strong connection, but she often found herself frustrated by his reluctance to open up emotionally. While Nathan was attentive and affectionate, he rarely shared his feelings or talked about his past. Claire wasn't sure if he was holding back because he needed more time or because he wasn't ready for a serious relationship. One evening, Claire decided to address the issue directly. She told Nathan how much she valued their connection but admitted that she felt uncertain about his emotional availability. Instead of becoming defensive, Nathan listened carefully and acknowledged that he struggled with vulnerability. He explained that past experiences had made him hesitant to open up, but he realized that avoiding emotional depth was holding him back. Over the following weeks, Nathan made a conscious effort to share more about himself. He began talking about his family, his dreams, and even his fears. While the process wasn't always easy, Nathan's willingness to confront his emotional barriers strengthened their relationship. Claire's honesty had created a safe space for Nathan to grow, and their connection deepened as a result. Nathan's transformation highlights the importance of honest conversations and patience in building emotional availability. While not every situation will result in such positive change, addressing emotional unavailability early can help you determine whether the relationship has potential or if it's time to move on. Ultimately, emotional availability is about more than just sharing feelings. It's about creating a partnership where both people feel seen, heard, and valued. By recognizing the signs of emotional openness and addressing barriers with confidence and compassion, you can build a connection that supports mutual growth and fulfillment. Chapter 6. Time investment and prioritization. Time is one of the most valuable resources a person can offer, and how a man chooses to spend his time is a clear reflection of his priorities. If he's serious about building a relationship with you, he'll make an effort to include you in his life, even when things get busy. Learning to gauge whether he's making time for you, and understanding the difference between being genuinely busy and making excuses, can help you assess his level of interest and commitment. A man who is serious about you will actively carve out time to connect, whether it's through regular texts, phone calls, or in-person plans. It's not about grand gestures or constant availability, it's about consistent effort. If he's making an effort to check in, plan dates, or show up when he says he will, it's a strong sign that he values the relationship. On the other hand, if his communication feels sporadic or he frequently cancels plans without rescheduling, it may indicate that he's not prioritizing the connection. Understanding the difference between being busy and making excuses is crucial. Everyone has obligations, work, family, personal commitments, that can limit their availability. A man who is genuinely busy will still find small ways to show you that you matter, like sending a quick message to let you know he's thinking of you or scheduling time in advance when he knows he'll be free. In contrast, a man who isn't serious may use busyness as an excuse to avoid deeper engagement, leaving you feeling like an afterthought. One way to gauge his prioritization is by observing how he responds to changes in plans. If something unexpected comes up, does he make an effort to communicate and reschedule? A man who values your time won't leave you hanging or make you feel unimportant. Instead, he'll acknowledge the inconvenience and take steps to ensure you know he still cares about spending time with you. Another indicator of prioritization is whether he includes you in his life outside of one-on-one interactions. Does he introduce you to his friends or family? Does he invite you to events or activities that are important to him? These actions demonstrate that he sees you as a significant part of his world and is interested in building a connection that extends beyond casual dating. Let's explore an anecdote that illustrates how much effort speaks volumes. Jenna had been dating Ryan for a few months and initially felt a strong connection. Ryan was charming and fun to be around, but as their schedules grew busier, Jenna began to notice a pattern. Ryan often claimed he was swamped with work but rarely followed up to plan time together. When they did hang out, it was usually last minute, leaving Jenna feeling like an afterthought. One day, Jenna decided to take a step back and observe Ryan's actions more closely. Instead of always being the one to initiate plans, she waited to see if he would make an effort. Days turned into weeks without a single suggestion from Ryan. Frustrated but determined to get clarity, Jenna brought up her concerns. Ryan admitted that while he enjoyed their time together, he wasn't ready to prioritize a relationship. Jenna's disappointment was tempered by relief. She finally had the clarity to move forward. Shortly after, she met Alex, who had a different approach. Alex was equally busy with his career but consistently made an effort to include Jenna in his life. He planned dates in advance, texted her during his lunch breaks, and even invited her to meet his coworkers at a casual gathering. His actions left no doubt that he valued Jenna and saw her as a priority. Jenna's experience underscores the importance of effort and consistency. While Ryan's words had initially seemed promising, his lack of follow-through revealed that he wasn't serious. Alex, on the other hand, showed through his actions that he was committed to building a meaningful connection. Prioritization is one of the strongest indicators of seriousness because it reflects how much someone values the relationship. A man who is truly interested will make the effort to show up, communicate, and include you in his life, even when it's not always convenient. By paying attention to how he invests his time and energy, you can better understand his intentions and decide whether the relationship aligns with your needs. Ultimately, time investment isn't about constant attention, it's about consistent effort and the willingness to make you feel valued. By observing his actions and trusting your instincts, you can confidently navigate your relationships and focus on building connections that truly matter. Chapter 7. Meeting his inner circle. Meeting a man's inner circle, his friends, family, or even close colleagues, is a significant step in any relationship. It's more than just an introduction, it's an insight into his world, priorities, and how he envisions your role in his life. If he's serious about you, he'll naturally want to include you in the parts of his life that matter most. Understanding what meeting his inner circle means, and recognizing the red flags in his social dynamics, can provide valuable clarity about his intentions. Introducing you to his friends and family is a powerful gesture because it shows he's integrating you into his life. It signals that he values the relationship and wants the people closest to him to see you as an important part of his world. A man who's serious will feel proud to share his connection with you and curious to see how you interact with those he trusts most. These introductions are often a way of seeking validation from his inner circle, as their opinions can matter deeply to him. The relationships he maintains with his inner circle also reveal a lot about his character and intentions. Pay attention to how he speaks about his friends and family. Are these relationships supportive, respectful, and long-standing? A man who values meaningful connections will likely approach his romantic relationships with the same care. Conversely, if his interactions with his inner circle are strained, dismissive, or superficial, it may indicate challenges in how he builds and sustains connections. Meeting his inner circle also gives you the chance to see how he behaves around the people who know him best. Does he treat you with the same respect and attentiveness in front of them as he does in private? Does he go out of his way to make you feel included and comfortable? These dynamics are important because they show whether his feelings for you are genuine and consistent. However, there are red flags to watch for when it comes to his social dynamics. If he's hesitant or avoids introducing you to his friends and family, it could signal that he's not ready to fully commit. While some men may take time before making introductions, consistent avoidance or vague excuses, such as claiming that it's not the right time, shouldn't be ignored. Similarly, if he keeps his social life completely separate from your relationship, it's worth questioning whether he sees you as a long-term partner. Another red flag is if his inner circle seems unaware of your existence. If you meet his friends and they're surprised to learn about you, it might indicate that he hasn't been open about your relationship. A serious man will naturally talk about you with his inner circle, even before introductions are made. This transparency shows that he values you and is proud of the connection you've built. Let's explore an anecdote that highlights the significance of meeting the inner circle. Laura had been dating Evan for 6 months and felt their relationship was progressing well. Evan was attentive, fun, and always made her feel special. However, Laura noticed that their interactions were mostly one-on-one, and Evan rarely mentioned his friends or family. When she brought it up, Evan assured her he wanted her to meet them but said the timing wasn't right. A few months later, Evan invited Laura to a small dinner party with his closest friends. Nervous but excited, Laura prepared to meet the people who mattered most to Evan. To her relief, the evening went smoothly. Evan introduced her warmly, frequently included her in conversations, and seemed genuinely happy to have her there. After the dinner, several of Evan's friends pulled Laura aside to say how much Evan had been talking about her and how happy they were to finally meet her. The experience deepened Laura's confidence in their relationship. Seeing Evan interact with his friends and how he incorporated her into that dynamic reassured her of his commitment. From that point on, their relationship grew stronger, and Evan began including Laura in more aspects of his life, from family gatherings to work events. Laura's story demonstrates how meeting someone's inner circle can solidify a relationship. It provides a glimpse into his world, validates his intentions, and allows you to see how your connection fits into his broader life. When evaluating whether meeting his inner circle is a sign of his seriousness, consider both his actions and the context of the relationship. If he's consistently integrating you into his life and seeking opportunities for you to connect with the people who matter to him, it's a strong indication that he sees a future with you. On the other hand, if he's avoiding or downplaying these introductions, it may be worth having an honest conversation about where the relationship is headed. Ultimately, meeting his inner circle is about more than just introductions. It's about understanding how he prioritizes relationships, how he integrates you into his life, and whether his intentions align with yours. By paying attention to these dynamics, you can gain valuable insights into his commitment and build a deeper sense of trust and connection. If you're enjoying this audiobook so far, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. That means a lot to us. Now let's get back to it. Chapter 8. Long-term vision. A man who's serious about you will naturally think about a future together. While he may not explicitly map out every detail, the way he talks, plans, and aligns with your goals reveals whether he envisions you as part of his long-term life. Spotting these signs early on can help you determine if he's truly invested or simply enjoying the moment without any intention of commitment. One of the clearest indicators that he's thinking about a future with you is his willingness to discuss long-term plans. This doesn't necessarily mean he's talking about marriage or settling down right away. It's more about whether he considers you when thinking ahead. For example, does he include you in conversations about his career goals, travel plans, or personal milestones? Phrases like, "We should visit that place together," or, "I can see us doing this in a few years," suggest that he's imagining a shared future. Conversations about goals, values, and shared dreams are another vital component of a serious relationship. A man who sees you as a potential partner will want to understand your aspirations and whether they align with his own. He'll ask questions like, "What's something you've always wanted to achieve?" Or, "What's your idea of a fulfilling life?" These discussions not only deepen your connection but also reveal whether your visions for the future complement each other. It's important to note that alignment in life paths is crucial for serious relationships. While opposites can attract, significant misalignments in core values, such as whether to have children, where to live, or career ambitions, can create challenges that are difficult to overcome. A man who is serious about you will be open to discussing these topics and working together to find common ground. For example, if he's career-driven but values work-life balance, and you share similar priorities, it's a strong sign that your goals align. On the other hand, reluctance to talk about the future or vague answers to questions about long-term goals can be red flags. If he avoids these conversations or seems uncomfortable discussing anything beyond the present, it may indicate that he's not ready to commit. While some hesitation is natural, consistent avoidance of future planning often suggests a lack of serious intent. Let's explore an anecdote that illustrates the importance of long-term vision in a relationship. Emma and Jake met through a mutual friend and quickly bonded over their shared love of adventure. They enjoyed hiking, exploring new cities, and dreaming about their next getaway. But as their relationship progressed, Emma realized she wanted more clarity about Jake's long-term intentions. One evening, while reminiscing about their favorite trips, Emma decided to bring up the future. She asked Jake, "If you could plan your ideal life in 5 years, what would it look like?" Jake paused, then said, "I'd love to keep traveling, but I also see myself settling down eventually, maybe even building a life with someone who shares my passions." Encouraged by his response, Emma shared her own dreams of balancing adventure with stability. Over the following weeks, they began having deeper conversations about their goals, from career aspirations to where they wanted to live. They discovered that their visions aligned in meaningful ways. Both wanted to prioritize personal growth, maintain a sense of adventure, and build a life that supported their shared values. As their connection deepened, Jake started making more concrete plans that included Emma, like researching cities they could potentially move to together and discussing how they could balance their careers with their love of travel. These shared goals became the foundation of their relationship, creating a sense of partnership and purpose that strengthened their bond. Emma and Jake's story highlights the importance of discussing long-term vision early in a relationship. By aligning their goals and values, they built a connection that felt not only exciting but also sustainable. Their willingness to have honest conversations about the future ensured that they were moving in the same direction. When evaluating whether a man is serious about you, pay attention to the way he talks about his future. Does he include you in his plans? Is he open to discussing what matters most to him and learning about your priorities? These signs show that he's not just thinking about the present but also envisioning a life together. It's equally important to be honest about your own goals and values. Sharing your vision for the future allows you to assess whether you're compatible and ensures that both of you are building a relationship based on mutual understanding and respect. By aligning your life paths, you create a partnership that feels purposeful and fulfilling. In the end, long-term vision is about more than just planning. It's about commitment, alignment, and the willingness to grow together. A man who is serious about you will show his intentions not just through words but through actions that reflect his desire to build a future with you. By focusing on shared goals and values, you can create a relationship that stands the test of time and fulfills both your dreams. Chapter 9. Handling mixed signals. Mixed signals can be one of the most frustrating aspects of dating. They leave you questioning his intentions and wondering if you're overanalyzing or if there's something deeper at play. Decoding these signals requires a combination of observation, intuition, and communication. By understanding what mixed signals mean, knowing when to confront him, and recognizing when it's time to walk away, you can protect your emotional well-being and gain clarity in the relationship. Mixed signals often arise when someone is unsure about their feelings or intentions. They may genuinely enjoy spending time with you but hesitate to commit due to personal fears, unresolved past issues, or uncertainty about the connection. For instance, he might text you consistently one week, only to go silent the next. Or he could express excitement about future plans but then avoid solidifying those plans when the time comes. These contradictions can leave you feeling confused and unsure about where you stand. Decoding mixed signals starts with looking at the bigger picture. Are his actions consistent overall, or do they fluctuate wildly? Occasional inconsistency is normal. Everyone has busy days or moments of distraction. But a pattern of hot and cold behavior often indicates internal conflict or a lack of seriousness. Pay attention to how he treats you when he's fully engaged versus when he pulls back. Is he showing genuine care and interest, or does it feel like he's keeping you at arm's length? When confronting him about mixed signals, timing and tone are crucial. Choose a moment when you're both calm and can have a thoughtful conversation without distractions. Instead of accusing him or demanding answers, frame your concerns in a way that invites dialogue. For example, you might say, "I really enjoy spending time with you, but sometimes I feel unsure about where we stand. Can we talk about what we're both looking for?" This approach is non-confrontational and gives him space to share his perspective honestly. However, if you've addressed the issue and his behavior doesn't change, it may be time to consider walking away. Mixed signals can be emotionally draining, especially if they persist without resolution. A man who is serious about you will work to provide clarity and consistency once the issue is brought to his attention. If he continues to send conflicting messages, it's a sign that he may not be ready or willing to meet your needs. Staying grounded when you're faced with mixed signals is essential for protecting your emotional health. One effective technique is to focus on your own life and priorities rather than fixating on his behavior. Spend time with friends, pursue hobbies, and engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. This not only keeps you from overthinking but also reinforces your sense of self-worth. Another helpful strategy is to remind yourself that mixed signals are not a reflection of your value. His uncertainty or inconsistency says more about his internal struggles than it does about your worth as a partner. By separating his behavior from your self-esteem, you can approach the situation with clarity and confidence. Let's explore an example of a woman who turned a hot and cold dynamic into clarity. Hannah met Luke at a networking event, and their chemistry was undeniable. Luke was charming and attentive, and they quickly started texting and going on dates. However, after a few weeks, Hannah noticed that Luke's behavior was inconsistent. Some days, he would be incredibly affectionate and engaged, but other times, he would take days to reply to her messages or seem distant during their conversations. Feeling confused but determined to understand what was happening, Hannah decided to address the issue directly. She told Luke, "I really enjoy spending time with you, but I've noticed that sometimes it feels like you're all in, and other times it feels like you're pulling back. I'd love to know how you're feeling about where this is going." Luke admitted that he liked Hannah but was hesitant about entering a serious relationship due to past experiences. While Hannah appreciated his honesty, she realized that his uncertainty wasn't something she could fix. She decided to give him space to figure out his feelings while focusing on her own life. Over time, Luke began reaching out more consistently and eventually told Hannah that he was ready to commit. By addressing the issue and prioritizing her own well-being, Hannah gave Luke the chance to clarify his intentions without compromising her standards. Hannah's story highlights the importance of balancing communication with self-respect. By confronting the issue calmly and confidently, she gained insight into Luke's perspective and created an opportunity for clarity. At the same time, her decision to prioritize her own needs ensured that she wasn't left waiting indefinitely for Luke to make up his mind. Mixed signals can be challenging to navigate, but they don't have to leave you feeling powerless. By observing patterns, addressing concerns directly, and staying grounded in your own sense of worth, you can approach these situations with confidence and clarity. Remember, a relationship should bring you peace and security, not confusion and doubt. If mixed signals persist despite your efforts to address them, trust yourself to walk away and make room for someone who is ready to meet you with consistency and commitment. Chapter 10. Trusting your instincts. When it comes to assessing a man's seriousness, your intuition is one of your most powerful tools. While logic and observation are important, your gut feelings often pick up on subtle cues that your conscious mind might miss. Learning to trust your instincts can provide clarity and direction, helping you make decisions that align with your needs and values. Your intuition is your internal compass, built from a lifetime of experiences, patterns, and observations. It's that quiet voice that tells you something feels right, or off, before you can fully articulate why. When a man's actions or words don't match your expectations, your instincts often send a signal, even if everything seems fine on the surface. The challenge lies in listening to that voice and allowing it to guide you, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. One of the biggest obstacles to trusting your instincts is distinguishing between fear and genuine gut feelings. Fear is often rooted in past experiences, insecurities, or overthinking, while intuition is a deeper, calmer sense of knowing. For example, if you've been hurt in the past, you might fear that history will repeat itself and misinterpret harmless behaviors as red flags. True intuition, however, feels less like anxiety and more like a quiet nudge, a sense that something doesn't align with your values or needs. To differentiate between fear and intuition, take a moment to reflect on the emotions behind your feelings. Fear is often accompanied by panic, overthinking, or a sense of urgency, while intuition feels steady and grounded. Ask yourself, am I reacting to something specific he's said or done, or am I projecting my past experiences onto the present? This self-awareness can help you determine whether your concerns are rooted in reality or driven by fear. Building confidence in your judgment starts with practice. Pay attention to how your instincts manifest in small, everyday situations. For example, if you feel uneasy about a decision at work or with a friend, take note of what happens when you follow or ignore that feeling. Over time, you'll begin to recognize the patterns of your intuition and trust it more readily in larger, more complex situations, like navigating a relationship. It's also helpful to seek clarity through communication. If your instincts tell you something is off but you're unsure why, have an open and honest conversation with him. Express your concerns without accusing or assuming the worst. For example, you might say, "I've noticed specific behavior, and it's left me feeling uncertain. Can we talk about where we're both coming from?" His response can either confirm your intuition or provide reassurance that alleviates your concerns. Let's explore a story that illustrates the power of trusting your instincts. Megan had been dating Tyler for several months and enjoyed their time together, but she couldn't shake a nagging feeling that something was missing. On paper, Tyler was a great partner, kind, funny, and attentive, but Megan often felt like he was holding back emotionally. Whenever she brought up deeper topics, Tyler would change the subject or respond vaguely. At first, Megan dismissed her feelings, telling herself she was being overly critical or expecting too much. But the uneasy feeling persisted. Eventually, Megan decided to trust her instincts and address the issue. She told Tyler, "I really value the time we spent together, but I feel like there's a part of you I don't fully know yet. I'd love to understand what's holding you back." Tyler admitted that while he cared for Megan, he wasn't sure he was ready for the level of emotional commitment she was seeking. This honesty gave Megan the clarity she needed to move forward. Though it was difficult, she chose to end the relationship and focus on finding a partner who could meet her emotional needs. A few months later, Megan met someone who aligned with her values and goals, and their relationship flourished. Megan's story highlights the importance of trusting your instincts, even when it's uncomfortable. Her decision to listen to her gut allowed her to gain clarity and ultimately find a relationship that felt fulfilling and aligned with her desires. Trusting your instincts doesn't mean ignoring logic or rushing to conclusions. It means valuing your inner voice as an important part of your decision-making process. By combining intuition with self-awareness and clear communication, you can navigate relationships with confidence and clarity. Remember, your instincts are there to protect and guide you, ensuring that you invest your time and energy in connections that truly support your happiness and growth. Chapter 11. Setting Boundaries with Time Wasters. Setting boundaries is one of the most empowering tools you have in avoiding time wasters and ensuring your relationships align with your goals. Boundaries are not about controlling someone else's behavior. They're about defining your own standards and protecting your emotional well-being. When you clearly communicate what you need and expect, you create the foundation for a healthy connection. If someone can't respect those boundaries, walking away becomes an act of self-respect and clarity. The first step in setting boundaries is identifying behaviors that don't align with your goals. This could be inconsistent communication, vague or non-committal responses about the future, or a lack of effort to prioritize you in his life. Pay attention to how his actions make you feel. Do you often feel frustrated, undervalued, or unsure about where you stand? These feelings can be a signal that something isn't working and that boundaries need to be established. Communicating your needs is the next step, and it's important to do so with confidence and clarity. Instead of framing your concerns as complaints or ultimatums, focus on expressing what you need to feel respected and secure. For example, you might say, "I value consistency in a relationship, and I feel unsettled when plans are frequently canceled or communication is inconsistent. It's important to me to be with someone who prioritizes mutual effort." The fear of losing someone can make it difficult to set boundaries, especially if you're emotionally invested. However, expressing your needs isn't about pushing him away, it's about inviting him to meet you where you are. A man who values you will respect your boundaries and make an effort to adjust. If he reacts defensively or dismissively, it's a clear sign that he may not be the right person for you. The power of walking away from those who can't meet your standards cannot be overstated. Staying in a relationship that consistently disregards your needs erodes your self-worth and wastes time that could be spent on more fulfilling connections. Walking away isn't a failure. It's a choice to prioritize yourself and make room for someone who aligns with your values. Let's explore an anecdote about a woman who gained respect and clarity by setting firm boundaries. Samantha had been seeing Eric for several months and enjoyed their time together, but she often felt frustrated by his lack of consistency. Eric would frequently cancel plans last minute, claiming work commitments, and rarely initiated communication. Samantha found herself making excuses for his behavior, telling herself he was just busy. One evening, after another canceled date, Samantha decided she'd had enough. She reached out to Eric and calmly explained how she felt. "I care about you and enjoy spending time together, but I need consistency to feel secure in this relationship," she said. "If that's something you can't offer, I understand, but I need to be honest about what I'm looking for." Eric was initially defensive, insisting that his schedule was out of his control. But Samantha stood firm, reiterating her need for effort and reliability. Over the next week, Eric's behavior didn't change, and Samantha made the decision to end the relationship. While it was a difficult choice, she felt a sense of relief and empowerment knowing she had honored her own standards. A few months later, Samantha met someone who consistently made her feel valued and respected. Reflecting on her experience with Eric, she realized that setting boundaries had not only saved her time but also helped her recognize what she truly deserved in a relationship. Samantha's story illustrates the transformative power of boundaries. By clearly communicating her needs and being willing to walk away, she gained clarity about what she wanted and created space for a healthier connection. Her decision to prioritize herself ultimately led to a more fulfilling relationship. Setting boundaries isn't about being rigid or unyielding. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. When you communicate your needs with confidence and follow through on your boundaries, you send a powerful message. Your time, energy, and emotions are valuable, and you won't waste them on someone who can't meet your standards. Ultimately, boundaries are an act of self-love. They protect you from time wasters, ensure your relationships align with your goals, and empower you to build connections that bring joy and fulfillment. By identifying and addressing behaviors that don't serve you, communicating your needs without fear, and walking away when necessary, you create the foundation for a life and a relationship rooted in respect and authenticity. Chapter 12. Moving Forward with Confidence. As you step into your dating life armed with the knowledge you've gained, the most important lesson to carry with you is the power of confidence. Confidence in your worth, your boundaries, and your ability to choose relationships that align with your values will guide you toward connections that are fulfilling and meaningful. Applying what you've learned is about creating a dating approach that prioritizes your needs while embracing patience and self-worth as you seek the right connection. The first step in moving forward is clarity about what you're looking for in a partner. By understanding your own goals, values, and non-negotiables, you can approach dating with purpose. When you're clear about what matters most to you, it becomes easier to identify serious partners who align with your vision and to walk away from those who don't. This clarity isn't about being overly rigid, it's about ensuring that your energy is directed toward relationships that have the potential to grow and thrive. Healthy relationships with serious partners are built on mutual respect, communication, and shared effort. One strategy for fostering these connections is to approach dating with curiosity and authenticity. Instead of trying to impress or fit into someone else's expectations, focus on being yourself and letting your genuine qualities shine. This not only attracts the right kind of partner but also creates a foundation of honesty and trust from the start. Another key strategy is to pay attention to patterns over time. A serious partner will consistently show interest, prioritize your time together, and communicate openly about their feelings and intentions. Avoid getting swept up in grand gestures or words alone. Observe how their actions align with their claims. Consistency is a hallmark of a partner who values the relationship and is willing to invest in its growth. Embracing patience is an essential part of the process. Finding the right connection doesn't happen overnight, and rushing into relationships out of fear or loneliness can lead to settling for less than you deserve. Trust that the right person will come into your life at the right time, and focus on building a life that feels fulfilling on its own. When you're content and confident in yourself, you attract partners who complement your happiness rather than define it. Let's explore an example of a woman who found fulfillment by focusing on herself first. Emily had spent years in relationships where she felt she was always chasing after commitment. After her most recent breakup, she decided to take a step back and reassess what she truly wanted. Instead of immediately jumping into the dating scene, Emily chose to focus on her own growth. She pursued hobbies she'd always been curious about, deepened her friendships, and took steps to advance her career. During this time, Emily also reflected on her past relationships and recognized patterns of over-investing in partners who didn't meet her needs. She made a list of qualities she valued in a partner and promised herself to prioritize those traits moving forward. When she eventually started dating again, Emily approached each connection with a sense of calm confidence. She was no longer afraid to ask direct questions about intentions or to walk away from relationships that didn't align with her goals. A year later, Emily met Jack, a man whose values and intentions matched her own. From the start, Jack was consistent, communicative, and genuinely interested in building a future together. Emily credited her time spent focusing on herself for giving her the clarity and confidence to recognize a healthy connection when it appeared. Emily's story is a testament to the power of self-worth and patience. By prioritizing her own growth and trusting in the process, she created the conditions for a meaningful relationship to flourish. As you move forward, remember that confidence comes from knowing your value and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Each dating experience is an opportunity to learn more about yourself and what you want in a partner. Even if a connection doesn't work out, it brings you closer to finding the relationship that truly aligns with your goals. Building healthy relationships with serious partners requires effort, honesty, and mutual respect, but it starts with you. When you approach dating with clarity, authenticity, and patience, you set the stage for connections that are not only serious but also deeply fulfilling. Trust in your journey, embrace your worth, and let your confidence guide you toward the love you deserve. Throughout How to Tell If He's Serious, Avoiding the Time Wasters, we've explored the essential tools and insights needed to navigate modern relationships with clarity and confidence. The lessons shared here aren't just about identifying the wrong partners, they're about empowering you to prioritize your time, energy, and emotional well-being in ways that lead to fulfilling, meaningful connections. A recurring theme in this journey is the importance of actions over words. A man who is truly serious about you will demonstrate his intentions through consistency, effort, and thoughtful behavior. Words can charm and promises can excite, but actions reveal priorities. By focusing on patterns and observing how his behavior aligns with his claims, you can gain a clear understanding of his intentions without second-guessing yourself. Equally vital is the role of communication. Asking the right questions, expressing your needs, and addressing concerns early can prevent misunderstandings and help you determine whether a connection is worth pursuing. When approached with confidence and authenticity, these conversations foster trust and mutual respect. Remember, a serious partner will be willing to engage openly and work with you to build a healthy relationship. Another key takeaway is the importance of trusting your instincts. Your intuition is a powerful guide, often picking up on subtle signals that your conscious mind may overlook. Learning to distinguish between fear and genuine gut feelings allows you to make decisions from a place of confidence rather than doubt. Trusting yourself is not only empowering but also crucial in navigating relationships that align with your values. We've also explored the necessity of setting boundaries and walking away from relationships that don't serve you. Boundaries are a reflection of self-respect and a way to protect your emotional energy. A man who values you will honor those boundaries, while someone who consistently disregards them isn't worth your time. Walking away isn't about rejection, it's about creating space for connections that genuinely align with your needs and goals. As you move forward, embrace the idea that patience is an essential part of the process. Finding the right connection takes time, and it's better to wait for a relationship that truly fulfills you than to settle for one that doesn't. In the meantime, focusing on your own growth, passions, and happiness ensures that you're building a life you love, whether or not you're in a relationship. Let's end with a motivational message. Trust yourself and the journey you're on. Every step, every lesson, and even every disappointment brings you closer to finding a meaningful connection. The right person will complement your life, not complete it, and together you'll build a partnership based on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine love. You have the tools, the knowledge, and the inner strength to navigate your dating life with clarity and confidence. By prioritizing your time, honoring your worth, and embracing the journey, you're creating the foundation for the love you truly deserve. Trust in yourself, and trust that the right connection will come when the time is right. The journey may not always be easy, but it's one worth taking. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this audiobook valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Take care and see you on the next one.